Hereby call to order the Keokuk City Council meeting of October 5, 2017. We'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
O'Connor.
Here.
Moore. Payne.
Here.
Wynn.
Here.
Hellenthal.
Here.
Mortimer.
Here.
Pollock.
Here.
Bryant.
Here.
Dunnick. Here.
Okay, have mayor's correspondence. I would like to make a few announcements. On the 21st of October from 4 to 7 at Rand Park, the Keokuk Park and Recreation Board will present the Family Fright Night. There'll be candy, arts and crafts, hot chocolate, ghost stories, a photo booth, hay rack rides, face paint, and more. So it's a great night for kids. Also, the police department's Halloween first stop is at 5:30 to 7:30 on the 31st, and they'll be passing out candy. Okay, do we have any, no, one more thing. I'd like to announce, and I'm sure people have seen it, but I'd like to congratulate, and I know the whole council would, Aaron Burnett for receiving Manager of the Year for the state of Iowa, city manager. That tells you what his peers think of him.
Yeah.
It's a great award. Okay, do we have any citizens' requests?
I have a request.
You want to step? Oh, yeah. And we need your name and address so we can get it in the record. Thank you.
My name is Mercedes Hawkins. My address is 716 Fulton Street in Keokuk, Iowa. So I recently made a petition regarding the sound ordinance. I believe the sound ordinance should stay the time of 1 o'clock, but we need to enforce the sound complaints and make sure that we shut that down when it needs to be shut down. And I have a list of petition signers. And I will give you all a copy.
And you're saying the sound ordinance, which is the, some people call it the noise ordinance.
Yes. So my biggest concern over the sound ordinance change is we won't get bands to come in, and therefore that we'll lose the local business and the local bars that we have. If we no longer have bands playing in the local bars, young adults will not only go up to Iowa City for their local bars, for their fun, but that means they will be using their gas, their food, their drinks, all in a different city that they no longer live in or have never lived in. And I'm interested in bringing business to our city. I want people from West Point, Fort Madison, and Keokuk to come to Keokuk, to spend money in the bars, to spend money for food here, to spend gas for here, and keep the business running in here. After so long of people going to other cities during the weekend to have their fun, they will just eventually decide to move out of town to keep up with the fun for their recreation activities. That not only affects all business, I mean that will affect every business. Let's say they have a gym membership that loses the business towards the membership, then the housing economy goes down, and so it affects not only local bars, but it does affect every single business. On this petition that I do have a large amount of young adults on the petition, but I also have adults with young children in the family that have no teenagers at the moment. I also have teenagers that are in high school at the moment, and I have young adults my age that are in college that are, in Cedar Falls, Iowa City at the moment, but they signed this petition because they want to come back to town to have fun, not be in that area all the time. And then I also have, grandparents on this list. So it's not just the young adults that are interested in this, it is everyone of all ages that are interested in this.
I want to thank you for doing this. I think the council would second your request to keep business in town. I think we're always looking for ways to do that. And it's, I applaud your initiative in doing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other citizens' requests? Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda. They include minutes of the regular city council meeting of September 21, 2017, minutes of the civil service meeting, September 29, 2017, received council reports, renew the liquor license at Aldi, number 15, Aldi Incorporated, number 15, 3379 Main Street, effective October 22, 2017, a Class C beer permit with Sunday sales. Knights of Columbus, 11 North 6th Street, effective October 23, 2017, a Class A liquor license, private club with Sunday sales. Reappointment of Mike Hickey to the Board of Trustees of the Keokuk Municipal Water Works, term to expire November 1, 2023. Reappointment of Mike Hausch to the Board of Trustees of the Keokuk Municipal Water Works, term to expire November 1, 2023. Appointment of Sandy Seabold and Diane Stanley to the Human Rights Commission, term to expire September 19, 2019. Reappointment of Ray Bradley Jr., Fred Say Jr. to the Human Rights Commission, term to expire September 19, 2020. And motion to pay the bills and transfers listed within register numbers 4954 through 4956.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 7, consider a resolution to vacate and dispose of the north 20 feet by 120 feet of the alley in Block 5, Kilbourne Edition.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 8, consider a resolution updating the return to work program. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9, consider resolution authorizing the mayor to accept a quote with A.C. McCartney in the amount of $50,793 for a 2017 Kubota tractor and mowers.
So
Motion.
move. So move.
Yep.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 10, consider resolution to approve a bid for demolition of the Unitarian Church.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Do we have any committee reports? I think you have one, Sandy.
Yes. And for this young lady who came tonight, I appreciate what, you coming and presenting your ideas, and in such a respectful way, too. I think that was nice that you did that. We did have a code revision meeting, committee meeting, 2 weeks, it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, whatever that date was. I'm not sure what the date was. And we had representatives of 3 local businesses that have music. Josh and Sarah Barnes from the Driftwood, Larry Roberts from L Trains, and 2 gentlemen from the Bar, which is a new establishment in town. I didn't get their names written down here. And I just wanted to report on the discussions we had. We are not recommending any changes at this point. We do have some concerns, and they are legitimate concerns, that we have not much oversight on what goes on. The other 2 communities that we checked with, or I checked with before the meeting, were Fort Madison and Burlington, who both have different things built into their resolutions or ordinances. And we talked about all the things that they had, and Mr. Roberts particularly told us that he has big bands, and that, you know, I know Mr. O'Connor was afraid that our young people would go to Fort Madison and Burlington, so that's why I checked with those two towns particularly, cities particularly. And in fact, I guess it's going the opposite way. They're coming to Keokuk because we don't, you know, it's a little more, I'm not sure what word I want to use. Anyway, we have less, you know, less oversight
Inviting.
over.
We're more lenient.
It's more convenient. We don't have any particular anything. We have nothing going on. When we originally did this vote in 2011, someone said at that meeting, and the tape has been erased, so we aren't able to look at it. But it's funny, I ran into the former police chief, Tom Crew, who was at that meeting, and he told me what was said before I even got a chance to ask him about it. I was just saying, you know, about not doing, that someone at that meeting did say that we would be able to, if someone complained after 11 o'clock at night, the establishment would be asked to turn down their volume. Well then, anyway, at the gist of the thing was, we were told at this meeting by one of the proprietors, Larry Roberts, that it wasn't possible to turn down the sound. And then one of the other people at the meeting, you know, the representatives of the establishment, suggested maybe we could just start lower. I thought, well, Ron and I were both at the meeting, and Pam, and we decided that after kind of a long and wasn't always real friendly, but mostly friendly meeting and discussing things, we decided, we made it just kind of a verbal agreement. They would start 10 decibels lower. They have their last band of the season at L Trains on October 7th, and they're going, is that tomorrow night?
No.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Okay,
Saturday night. So they're going to, where they usually start at between 105, from 105 to 110 decibels, so it'll be between 95 and 100 decibels that they start at. So that'll be maybe enough lower so that after 11 o'clock there aren't complaints. And it depends on the weather too, how the atmosphere is, how they, you know, if people hear it and are annoyed. Anyway, and then they agreed that they would put their scheduled bands on the community calendar, which is on the internet. Has anybody looked at the community calendar? Okay, we have one. I looked at it after I was told about it. I didn't know anything about it. So anyway, the basic thing is, we said, you know, we're just concerned about people, and you know, they said, well, you don't like it because you're old, you know, basically because you're old, and it's not your kind of music. Well, that's true. That's not my kind of music, but the night I could hear it until 1 o'clock, and I could hear it at my house on 18th and Oregon, and I think that's too loud. If I can hear words even. Not when I was inside with the windows all closed, the air conditioning on, I could hear the music and the drumming and different things, but I didn't hear the words. But when I went on the porch, I could have sat there and sang along with them, and I'm 8 blocks away. There has to be some recourse, and we can't have, you know, there could be somebody could abuse the complaint thing, but for the most part, I don't think people abuse that. I called and complained and spoke with the policeman, and he said there was nothing they could do. So I think if we try this for a while, if it works, if they put things on the community calendar, if they the noise is not too loud. I did contact a friend of mine in Des Moines who does sound. He's a sound technician, and I didn't talk to him personally, but I had a message from him saying that they could, no matter what kind of sound system you have, you can turn the volume down at a certain point. But he also said that the problem is the relativity of sound pressure levels. And if you guys are bored, I won't tell you this, but
Good.
They change depending on humidity, temperature, and pressure of the air. Most cities have ordinances based on distance as well. The problem you also face that sound is measured, and I looked this up after he mentioned this, in A weighting, and it's W-E-I-G-H-T-I-N-G, to match the ear response. But a building will resonate low frequencies more than high, which is opposite of A weight. This means that bands could be within ordinance limits if we set a decibel limit, but cause outside people to receive a louder volume. So it's not an easy issue, and if we can if we can, you know, take care of this just through agreement, that's great. But we have, you know, we have to consider everybody. We're not just representing the young people, we're representing everybody in Keokuk, and we have to consider what, you know, what's best. And if all the other communities around us have these restrictions on their performers, and they still have them, even though we have the biggest name bands, I guess, at L Trains, we still need to keep an eye on things and don't just, I mean, they're not, our businesses are really not regulated at all. They could have a band every night of the week till 1 o'clock, according to our ordinance, which I didn't vote for because I think Monday through, or excuse me, Sunday through Thursday at least, we should have an 11 o'clock deadline, but we don't. But nobody's abused the weekly thing so far, so that's good too. So anyway.
What did they say about stopping on time? Because that was
They
an
said
issue.
they do stop on time.
That's, well, okay.
I at one point was ready to get up and leave the meeting, but we did have one person who was very, you know, that was very, very instrumental in getting this agreement. That was, you know, one of the proprietors. And anyway, we're gonna, you know, I'm anxious to see how it goes Saturday night even, and see what happens from here on out. But and you know, I'll tell you one thing. I presented a petition to Board of Supervisors once that had 1,000 signatures on it, or more than 1,000 from Keokuk, and the chairman of that committee just took the thing and threw it under the desk. Didn't care. So, but I do care, and I appreciate you coming with a petition. I know it's not easy getting signatures. Okay, I quit.
No problem. Any other committee reports? Any new business? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I appreciated your alerting the community to the upcoming events for Halloween, and it made me think about some that we haven't mentioned, and there is a lot going on in this town, and people say, hey, there's nothing to do. One event that's just a kick, and I enjoy it every year, is the Zombie Walk. And it hasn't been talked about, and I believe it's in the next week or two, several weeks.
Friday the 13th.
Saturday the 13th?
Friday.
Friday the 13th. Oh my goodness. And it you know, if you haven't seen it, or it's something that, you know, it doesn't take long, and it's just a real fun event. The Great River Players are going to be presenting a production called the Keokuk Christmas Carol. So it's going to be a takeoff of, you know, the Scrooge and the Christmas Carol, but it's going to be set in Keokuk, and some, I'm not really, I don't really know what it's going to be, but I'm really looking forward to it. So
The mayor isn't going to be the Scrooge, is he?
Well, I think they mentioned something about a guy named Marion, but no, there was actually some characters in Keokuk that were known for their grouchiness or something, and we have had characters in the past, and I believe some of those are included in the script, and people will recognize them, and I hope enjoy it.
Well, and this month, Great River Players is also doing radio theater performance of the War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing that on the 27th and the 28th, the weekend before Halloween, and that will be at the Great River Players Theater, not at the Grand.
That's a lot going on in Keokuk, so everybody conserve your energy. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Third, fourth.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.